Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode we are going to be discussing Disney and their live action movies, what's good about them, what's bad about them, all of that good stuff in between. But before we do that, do us a favor, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, links are on the screen down below. And I guess possible spoilers, because we're going to be discussing all the current ones out.
I mean, I guess it can't be spoilers because they're all just remakes of one you've already seen.
So maybe spoilers,
Yeah,
we'll throw it out there, be polite. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So at first, I thought we'd just start off with the current ones and just kind of I'll list them off and then we'll kind of go from there. So the ones that are currently out, we got Lion King, Aladdin, Peter Pan and Wendy, which is actually their third.
That just came out, right?
Yeah. Which was like their third actual like live renditioning.
Are you counting like Hook?
Hook, yeah. The one that was like when I was a kid, early 2000s, Hook, and then this would be the third one. Pinocchio, Mulan.
There was a Hook in the 2000s? I'm thinking the one from the 90s.
I'm talking about Peter Pan.
Oh, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hook was in the 90s.
Yeah, Hook was older, yeah. Mulan, Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, Lady and the Tramp, and Cruella, which is 101 Dalmatians. So those are the current ones out. In general, I mean, for some of them were fine. Like Lion King it was just the same movie. Just
Yeah,
it was the same.
I was telling Tom,
Yeah.
I liked Aladdin better. I like the live action remake of Aladdin better than the original.
It is a
Personally,
controversial take.
I know like Robin Williams, so
Yeah.
you can't say that movies are like that
Thanks.
better. Oh, sorry. But I just thought that one was better. It was like the same movie, but better musical. Like Will Smith's better at doing like a musical than Robin Williams. Like he's better
That's
dancer,
fair.
he's better rapper, better singer. Like so, I just thought, and like that was always a part of Aladdin. And
Yeah.
I didn't say Robin Williams did a bad job. I just thought Will Smith nailed it in that role specifically. But I'd say they're about 50-50 though. I didn't really like Cruella. I didn't like Dumbo.
Yeah, I remember Dumbo. I went. It was years ago when it came out. I remember going to theaters. It was like super empty. Like the girl I was dating at the time wanted to go see it,
Yeah.
and
It was right.
it
But
was
some of them
whatever.
were good. I think Lion King is fine. Lion King is just like a straight remake, like
Yeah.
the same exact
just
movie.
different animation.
Like Aladdin, there was like changes to
Yeah.
it, but like Lion King's like shot for shot the same thing.
Pinocchio, I heard, was really boring.
Pinocchio, I wouldn't say. I guess that's a good way to put it. I wouldn't say it's not bad. Pinocchio's always boring, so I don't.
Yeah.
Pinocchio was always boring to me. Pinocchio wasn't that
Did you
bad.
see Mulan?
Yes, Mulan. I didn't like it.
I haven't seen it. I pretty much only seen Lion King, Aladdin, and Dumbo.
Beauty and the Beast, I
Dumbo.
thought was a pretty good remake.
I heard that was pretty.
It's
solid.
the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
the same thing, so it's good. I like that one. My wife really likes Beauty and the Beast, so I've seen that one a couple times. I don't mind watching that one. But I would say it's probably 50-50. I didn't like
Yeah.
Cruella. I've seen almost all of them. I'm pretty sure all the ones you named I have seen with my daughter. Cruella I didn't really like. It was okay.
Because some of these, like, it was like a mixture of like straight to Disney Plus and straight to movies.
Yeah,
It was
I
really
didn't. I didn't
mixed.
like that they called it Cruella and made it about her. Like it should have just been 101 Dalmatians
Yeah.
and have been more about them. They
would've
like
been
picked somebody
fine.
really famous to play Cruella,
Emma
so they had to
Stone,
make it
yeah.
about her. I didn't like that part.
They're making a
'cause-
second one, I heard.
Yeah, because Cruella, like 101 Dalmatians, was never about Cruella.
No.
It was like she was the bad guy. Like,
Yeah,
we knew
that
she
was
was
it.
a money-loving biatch. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with some of these, I mean, my big issues overall, I'll save like for the upcoming ones in the end, because I know we'll have separate conversation with those. There's the oversaturation of all of these like live action renditionings. Just it turns me off from seeing any of them. It's like it just feels like it's a lack of creativity
Yeah,
and
very
stuff like that.
lazy,
It's just like, oh, okay, well, let me do a quick little cash
Yeah.
grab
If
here.
I didn't have a kid, I probably never would have
Yeah.
seen any of these.
Even if it's on Disney Plus, we all have Disney Plus.
I
I'm
think
not.
the only one I saw that wasn't with my child was Beauty and the Beast with my wife. We watched it on Disney Plus
Yeah.
together. But if I didn't have a kid, I definitely wouldn't see them. They're definitely a cash grab, pure laziness.
Yes.
Like, why not just do a remake, a
Yeah.
live action remake of Lion King with Simba and Nala, and just
Because
do it, like,
what didn't make sense to me was at first when they were doing it, it was like the older stuff. Like it was like the really the OG Disney
like
stories,
Lion King.
and it was like every now and then.
Yeah.
But like it was like once every few years, which I'm okay with.
I think
Whatever.
that was their plan, but it just was so
Yeah.
popular that it was just so popular that like they were like, oh, we're
They were
definitely
doing
yeah, we're gonna do
everything.
them all
Yeah.
because we didn't realize
so
how much
fast.
people
It was
were gonna watch
ridiculous.
these. And I think they did a good job. Like I said, I thought Lion King was really good. Aladdin was good.
Aladdin
That's
was
how they're
great. That's my
getting
favorite. I
everybody.
will say Aladdin was
That's
my
how
favorite.
they're getting everybody with these because, like I said, Will Smith killed it.
Yeah,
as
the
Aladdin.
great casting, I will say. Yeah, what? Actually, yeah. Well, let me move on to the upcoming ones. So then we'll have our general discussion. The upcoming ones, obviously, we all know the most is Little Mermaid. That
That's
one's
soon,
coming out.
right?
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
thinking like
soon.
a week or two. Or something.
Snow White.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, Bambi, The Aristocats, was actually being directed by Questlove, and then Moana.
Wait, are they doing 2 Hercules? Because isn't Marvel doing Hercules?
Are they?
Or I don't know.
Well, they have
introduced Hercules.
Yeah, but I think that's separate. Obviously.
Yeah, I guess
They'll talk
he'll
about
be in Thor or something.
the Hercules from.
Yeah, the real one.
Yeah.
Remake those musical one. That would
Yeah.
be cool.
I feel like that's one of what I would only look forward to, kind of, because it was like a fun, silly movie, and like it's really hard to kind of mess that up. But I mean,
I will say I think it's going to be tough for that one and like Lilo and Stitch.
yeah, Lilo and
Just
Stitch.
because it's so like animated.
Yeah.
Even Moana too. It's going to be like all the cool stuff about that movie is like animated stuff.
Yes,
like Maui turning into a bird.
Yeah.
And what were we talking about? The Lilo and Stitch, like Lilo. Like I just don't know how they're gonna make a live action Lilo
Stitch?
or Stitch. Sorry, that's gonna look cool. Or the guy there was a shark that's chasing them.
Oh,
in a big
yeah.
old spaceship.
who someone got casted in that. I forgot who. There's been a lot of casting drops.
Well, I remember that something came out that the black guy.
Yeah.
you were you
Yeah,
telling me
I
the
told
black
you,
guy's
yeah.
not going to be the
Yeah.
FBI agent or the parole agent. Or
Yeah.
the
So what
DCFS
happened was, so it was like in a 2-day span. So throughout the week, I forgot when, but if you guys, this was huge on Twitter and socials, and mainly Twitter if you really follow there. But everyone was talking about. It was announcing like every day was like a new casting. They're like, oh, this person's playing this character, so on and so forth. And then they get to they say, oh, I forgot her name, but some lady is gonna be playing the agent. What is it called? Child care agent. What is it called?
DCFS, but I thought his name was like Bob.
Yeah.
Or something. It was something
Yeah,
like
so yeah, it was like DCFS, and there she was gonna play this role, and everyone's like, "You're recasting." His name is Mr. Bubbles.
Yeah, Mr. Okay, that's what it was.
And like there was like a huge, and I was upset with it too. I'm like, it's like no point. And then the next day or two later, they're like, "Oh, Mr. Bubbles is being cast. Like it's this character."
Okay.
So I don't know if they saw the controversy and they're like, "Oh, we got to cast."
That
someone.
happened with like Sonic because they released that thing out.
Oh yeah,
like people were
the
like, it's
animation
terrible.
was
They
awful.
literally changed all the animation.
Yeah, and it was perfect then.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think I didn't like that either. I'm not a fan of, even though I'm minority, them like changing things, even though that would have been a black person. But like
They're both black.
I was just reading that Cleopatra bombed on Netflix.
Cleopatra. What was that?
It's a new doc. You don't know
No, the show.
the movie. It's a documentary about Cleopatra.
Okay.
It's controversial because she was born in Greece, so she was born in Egypt, but she's of Greek descent.
Yeah.
And throughout history, there's been fighting that, is she black or is she white? Basically, they say she was just like dark-skinned white person. She was Greek people get pretty dark.
Yeah.
And she lived in Egypt, so she was getting a lot of sun. And they
Yeah.
cast her as a black woman in this, and it's got I think a 1%.
Holy cow.
A 1% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's wild.
That's the lowest.
That's
can't go any
reviewing
lower than
bombing,
that.
no.
It's like 11. I don't even know if that's review bomb. Like it probably is, but you can't even review bomb that bad.
Yeah.
And I think it's got 11% like actual critic score, so that means it's terrible because they don't ever. The only time they rate movies that bad is if you make a gay joke or something.
Yeah.
So I think people don't like that, and I don't think they need to recast Mr. Bubbles. Or I thought the girl. They said the girl who was going to do the voice or play Moana was the girl who did the voice of her, and then they said it wasn't.
Yeah. Regarding Moana, I have an issue with that because it makes sense for like all the older stuff to do live action, bring it back to remember, yada yada. Moana is way too soon because it's a totally different animation too,
and it's good. Like
yeah,
like you're talking about the older ones. Like Lion King was kind of ass in animation.
Yeah.
So like, oh bam, we're gonna update this. Aladdin, we're updating.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, we're updating. And like, so Moana, what the hell does it need to be updated? It's gonna be like, there's no way the live action is gonna look better than the animated.
No.
Like no, it's gonna. So I don't get
it's
that.
gonna
either.
feel weird for certain parts.
You're right, definitely too soon. Moana 2 hasn't even come out yet.
Because yeah, I'll say the Moana. The comedy and entertainment aspect is also from the animation style. Like the chicken, I forgot his name, but like, how are you gonna recreate that chicken? And I saw like the Little Mermaid. Ooh, sorry, I had a little frequency in my our feedback in my headphones. But no, I don't know. I put it on the TV. But I remember seeing in the trailers for Little Mermaid, like, and it's so weird seeing Sebastian and I forgot the fish's name, Flounder. Like they're like actual like creatures and like they're talking and so it feels off-putting. Yeah. Like it doesn't. It's the comedic aspect was favored for those movies and those animation. No, I think it's gonna bomb. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do great. I don't think they're gonna break even first weekend. I think it's gonna be lower than what they.
I don't know. I bet it might be lower than what they expect. I don't think they'll break even the first weekend.
No,
but
I
don't think
no,
they're
I
trying to
don't
break
think
even
so.
The first weekend though.
No.
I don't think they're worried about breaking even the first. That's a Disney can like throw all their stuff on the streaming service that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're gonna make their money back in 3 years with people tuning in and stuff like that. So they're not worried about that. But I don't think it's gonna do as well as some of the other ones because of the controversy. Again, I am a minority person. My daughter's a little black girl, but I don't understand why you're changing Ariel. Like,
Yeah,
and
I
people
put that
are just
down.
like, oh, mermaids aren't any race. It's like, you're right. I know that, but they picked one and made a movie. Like, I didn't do that.
White
like,
girl with red hair.
If they made, what was that movie with Tiana, The Frog and the Prince?
Oh, Prince. Yeah,
The
Princess
and
and the Frog.
If they made
Tiana White.
if they made Tiana White, there would be a freaking uproar.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand she's like the only black prince, but
Yeah.
like there would be an uproar if they made a new Princess and the Frog and Tiana was fucking Hillary Duff or somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they would not like that.
No, they would
so
not.
I would just say out of fairness, but like I don't really care. I just think why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily
What's the
care.
reasoning?
If it was an actual like if they would have made a Little Mermaid, it didn't have a movie that they were making out of. They made a new mermaid movie with a little black girl, it would be fine.
I was saying, what's the reasoning behind it more than just fitting an agenda, so to speak, or like, or not fitting an agenda, just making it feel inclusive, just for the sake of it.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
all
mean?
I think it is. Like, I mean, unless they're telling me they called in 100 people to do the casting, and the one that she was just the only one, and she blew. Then I guess I would listen to it.
Yeah.
But I don't honestly nothing against
No.
that girl. I don't think that's it. That
No.
she just blew them away in the audition. That they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we have to pick her instead of a white.
It's the
girl.
best, yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm not against them changing stuff, and yeah, mermaids don't have a race, but it's like they picked a race. It's
Yeah.
like, what if they made Flounder a freaking Nemo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, would people be like, well, Flounder's not a clownfish, and would
Yeah.
you be like, you're racist? Flounder could be any fish he
Fishist.
wants to be. Like,
You filthy
nobody would say
fishist.
that, but because it's a black girl being included for a white girl, then it's fine. But
Yeah.
if Sebastian was an eel
turtle.
instead of a turtle, it's like you would have a qualm. So that's
Yeah.
the same thing. Obviously, they're both people, but it's like it's a big change. Like
It is.
and
Same
it's
thing with that
off-putting.
Mr.
They're-
Bubbles thing.
And the point of these movies are to tug at your heartstrings. Yeah,
Yeah.
my daughter's not going to care. You know what I mean? Some little girl's not going to care. But
No.
some of these people like love my wife, not Little Mermaid, but Beauty and the Beast since she was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
not saying if they would have casted Zendaya as Belle, she wouldn't have liked it. But I'm just saying like they have a picture in their head.
Yes.
Like you just remake the freaking movie. If you want to make a mermaid movie with a little black girl, just pick a little
Yeah,
make
because
up
that's the
your
thing.
own
That,
story.
they did that. That's a great point to bring up. Is like they've done like original stories, and Disney has that power to make a story about whoever, however they like, no
Promote
matter
it
what.
However they want,
And
and
like
they'll make you watch it.
Princess
Just
and the
put it on
Frog.
the front page of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna do bad if they just keep no matter what. Oh, movies coming out this day, they'll be fine.
Yeah, because
But-
Princess and the Frog is one of my sister's favorites, and like I said,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But I do agree. It bothers me not so much, but it just annoys. I think annoys is the best way to put it. Annoys me just because it feels pointless. Like there's no like true reasoning behind it, just besides the sake of doing
Inclusion. Like, Tristan Tate says this, and it's like there's good stories. Like you can make original stories about black people.
Yes.
You don't have to strip stories that white characters had and be like, oh, we're just going to be
Yeah.
inclusive. Like that's lazy to me, and I feel like that's disrespectful to both parties. That like, you know what, we're not going to come up with our own story about a black mermaid. We're
Yeah.
just going to make the white mermaid we already created black.
it. Yeah.
Like,
Because or they do a lot of gender swap. Like I said, Lilo and Stitch was one. I feel like they definitely gender swapped, and they're like, oh, well, just kidding.
yeah, just
It's
kidding. Yeah, like they thought nobody was going to care because it was a man being switched to a woman. They're going to be like, girl power. You know what
I was
mean?
like, imagine if we'll do Princess and the Frog again. What if it's Prince? The prince was fine, but the girl was a frog. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like stop changing
what's the
stuff.
point?
Nobody, yeah, exactly. Then it's like that's not the same movie anymore. And I'm sure the movie's gonna be fine, but I'm like, you're messing with people for no reason.
Yeah.
I think Disney does this too much. These are kids' movies, and it's one thing to put these things in there, but to promote them to try and irk people, like The Kiss and Buzz Lightyear. I saw that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a fleeting literally three, like opening of the door and closing it. And two ladies kissing. Again, the only reason I noticed was because
It was such an
the
uproar.
controversy before, like my
That's why you're
daughter didn't
looking out
notice,
for that,
nobody
yeah.
doesn't notice, and like I said, I kind of had my eyes peeled because they made it like even Disney made it seem like this big inclusion deal. It's like, who cares? Just put in your movie,
Yeah,
keep
carry
pushing,
on.
and when it comes out, if people caught it and you go for it, that's fine. But they're making this push like LGBTQ.
like we're with you too.
Yes, come see our movies. We're making you're all inclusive. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like that's pandering
It
instead
is.
of just making quality movies that have natural LGBT
There
people
is-
in it. And I feel like Buzz Lightyear was one of them, and they went out of their way to be like, we're on your team, instead
Yeah.
of being like, this is normal. We just put it in the movie. We're not going to
Yeah.
address it because
That's the best way to
this is
handle
something
it.
normal. I thought Shazam did that.
Yeah.
Shazam, where they kind of made a joke about it, and I didn't. I felt like it was kind of out of place, but it still was like this organic thing where like he never did anything gay.
Yeah.
And he came out, and everyone's like, "We all knew that
Yeah.
already," and then like went about the movie.
Yeah.
Same with like Umbrella Academy when Elliot Page does a
yeah.
sex change. She's like, I forgot. She's like, "You're gonna call me." I forgot what they were gonna
Oh,
call
my
her,
God,
her
what?
boy name or whatever. But they're like, she's like, "You're gonna call me John now." And
Yeah.
they're like, "Okay," and they all just was like, "All right."
And,
And the brothers are like, "Are we cool with this?" And they're like, "Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know why we
who
care."
gives a
It's like.
Let's go save the world.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like do it like
That's
that.
the best
but
way to
to
do
like
it.
do something and be like promote it for months. Like we're LGBT inclusive. Again, I don't care if you are or you aren't, but I feel like you're trying to poke at people and you're trying to stir up controversy for your movie.
You know what it feels like? It feels like to me when they do like the big parade of it, or like the big extravaganza celebration of it, of putting their inclusiveness in whatever they're doing. It could be a scene, could be a character, etc. It feels like whatever audience they're pandering to or trying to get targeted for the movie to come, it makes it feel childish. Like they can't understand. That's how I take it. It's like, oh, this community cannot connect with it, but we have to throw in there. Oh, look
Yeah,
at it, guys.
exactly.
Look
Yeah,
it.
again, I'm
Like
saying it's
they're not
kind of
like,
disrespectful in the sense where you're saying like you can't subtly or like organically put those things
Yeah.
in there. You have to over the top put in there, and then after that you have to promote it for weeks. Let them know like this is going to be in the movie. You need to come see our movie. 'Cause
This is
gonna
your
be,
movie.
Yeah, this movie is going to be for you.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's the wrong thing for Disney to do because Disney at the end of the day is for kids. And again, I don't really have any qualms with. I'm not some crazy parent who's like, I don't want to see my daughter see two girls kissing or two. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I don't like that you're promoting it as such. Like, this is just supposed to be for kids. If you want to have two dads in there, by all means, I don't care.
Who cares?
But it shouldn't be like you're promoting the movie as like, this is the movie. If you've got two dads, you should come see it. Or
Yeah.
if you're two dads and you got a kid, you should bring your kid. Like, it don't got to be like that. Like, I don't have a problem. Like I said, if it came to that, it's a cartoon movie anyway. If
Who cares?
let's say I was somebody who was against homosexuality, I would just say, hey, it's a cartoon. You know
Who
what I mean?
cares?
You
Yeah.
know, two dogs kissing it or
Right.
dogs talking there. Do people like? I never got that when people were complaining about a cartoon. Like, oh, there's two boys kissing a cartoon. I'm like, there's a dog talking in the cartoon. Like, does your kid think that dogs talk?
Yeah.
Like. You can't just be like, well, this is a cartoon or they love it, whatever you want to say. But it's like this thing where you're pretending like they're trying to indoctrinate kids. I don't think it's that deep to a little kid.
Yeah.
But I do think they're trying to rile up the adults who are going to take their kids to the movie in order to like get people to come see their movie. And then it's like the statement, if you're like, if somebody's like, oh, did you go see Little Mermaid? And you're like, no. Like, why? Are you racist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
such a big
that's
thing.
the thing. It's like, say it was like She-Hulk. We were like, oh, do you like She-Hulk? No, because you hate women. That's why,
Yeah.
right? It's like, no, I just thought it wasn't good. Nope, you hate
Yeah.
women. And it's like, I feel like they're doing that with the kids' movies
Yeah.
now. Where you're like, well, if you didn't like Buzz Lightyear, it's because you don't like two women kissing. It's like, no, I just thought it was
Yeah.
a whack movie. Like,
Yeah, no, that's the biggest one of my other qualms about like the whole like gender, race, whatever swapping of
gender,
character.
race, LGBTQ,
Whatever.
they're trying to trigger you somehow. And
Because if I say, oh, it just doesn't make sense to me, like I said, oh, you're sexist, racist, homophobic, etc. I'm like, and we're lucky enough where we have a podcast where we can kind of divulge and explain it, but
get to
on
talk
social
about
it's
it.
different.
But yeah, most people it's just like you have to live with that. If
Yeah.
like, or like you say something and you don't even know, but people secretly think like, oh, that guy's racist.
Yeah.
He didn't go see Little Mermaid. He doesn't like black people. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, is it that serious? Like maybe they just don't like. Can't people just like not like you changing already made like
For the
if
sake
they
of
make if the new Harry Potter comes out and Harry Potter is black, I'm not watching it. And I don't and like I am a black
Yeah.
person. It's like same thing. They make Hermione black. I'm not watching it. Like why? Or the Weasleys if they're all black with afros.
Yeah.
It's like why? It's like why not just make some cool new magic story with black
It's not
people
hard.
already
There's a
in it?
million. There's a million magic stories
Yeah,
out. Like
like, it's-
even
they're-
outside of Harry Potter. Like
Yeah.
we've maybe I brought it up. Yeah, I did on the Indie Comics episode. Go check it out, guys. Like I talked about Magic Order. You could do whatever you want. Like
Or the
it's-
magicians.
The magicians.
There's,
Yeah.
there's black people, Indians, gay, straight,
Whatever,
trans,
yeah.
and that's awesome. Like, but you don't have to make Harry Potter change all those characters in one of them. Just like come up with your own cool
Yes.
idea. You like when she made Harry Potter, it wasn't this inclusion-driven thing. Where,
Yeah.
like if she would have made Harry Potter in the like started in the 2000s, I guarantee you multiple of the characters would be gay or trans
Yeah.
or anything because that's just society. But she didn't make it then, and it's not for then. It's like, sorry, guys, make your own Harry Potter. Like, there's no LGBTQ writer or trans writer or black writer or, you know what I mean, male writer. If you want to change her story, make your own story that's better than that one. Don't be like, well, this is the best story of all time, and since we can't match it, you know what? We're just going to make some of the characters black for inclusion's sake.
Speaking about that, another great example of, and this is, like I said, this is really Disney's big issue. I mean, there's other platforms that do it too, but it's Disney's really the head honcho of it.
Disney does it, and then they promote it.
Yeah.
And, like, they're throwing it in your face, like, haha, we made Ariel black. What you going to do about it? And if you don't like it, you're racist.
Yeah.
Like,
there's like DC did this really well. As you guys know, I'm a huge Batman fan. And they're like, where's Black Batman? And now we have a Black Batman, but it's in a separate comic. It's not, they didn't change Bruce Wayne black. Bruce Wayne still exists in that universe, but instead of Gotham, they're in New York. And I never read it, but like some guy became Batman, joined the Bat family, and runs New York, and that works perfectly fine. Like there's certain things if you want,
especially with comics, there's universes, all types of stuff. They do that. Like they were saying, Michael B. Jordan might be Superman a couple years ago.
Yeah,
like no, like there's a, you know what I mean, black.
It's still in talks, by the way. It's still he has it because someone asked him in an interview when they're doing Creed 3. He's like, I can't talk about it.
Yeah. I don't
know. His producer or manager, whoever published it.
Again, I like Michael B. Jordan. He does great work. I don't want to see him playing Superman.
Is there a black Superman?
There is one, but like if he's playing that one.
Like I think it was that correct us.
Clark Kent.
Yeah, no.
Where they're like that. Like yes, there's in DC there's a
million. There's so many.
There's Superboy Prime, all types of stuff. Yeah, so he can be that one.
Yeah.
But I don't like. There's no point in being so inclusive. It's like people already love it. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Like. But why try and alienate the people you already know are going to come watch it? Like, everything don't got to be inclusive. If they're going to, or was the LGBT community really going to boycott it, or black people really going to boycott if there wasn't a black mermaid?
No.
Like, no, that wasn't going to happen. So I don't understand that. Like I said, they're trying to get brownie points for whatever reason.
Yeah, it just feels It just feels like
wanting everybody to like you.
Downgrading? Is that the right word? Or belittling. There we go.
Yes.
Belittling whatever community they're trying to talk to.
When you're like, oh, we have to make this all-inclusive movie that everybody likes. Like, Disney never made movies like that. Disney made movies that little kids liked, and your parents had to go see them.
Yeah, so we talked about this. I forgot. We talked about Mario. Yeah. Every kids movie, it was like they made like for kids, like you said, but also like adults can connect because they knew like, oh, we gotta take the adults with, or the kids
make some jokes or something like that. But you don't gotta change the sexual orientations of
so
characters.
Only the adults can enjoy it.
Older LGBT or older black adults, or older straight men, whoever it is, can relate. It's like no, like
what's
why are you making those like so other LGBT? It's like first of all, kids shouldn't be talking about this stuff anyway.
Yes.
Like.
Wait till high school.
Exactly, in my opinion, or maybe not high school, a little bit earlier than that, but like, why isn't it a Disney movie? Like Toy Story ain't gotta have no trans character or anything.
So they're just toys.
Yeah, they're just toys.
Do you think they'll do a live? I don't think they should.
They could pull that off.
That'd be weird.
I was gonna say that earlier. I don't think it would. Yeah, it'd be creepy.
That'd be creepy.
I don't want to. Creepy if Toy Story.
I don't want to go see it.
It remind me of like Toy Soldier or Small Soldiers, right?
Yeah.
You see that movie? Like I love that movie, but it's freaking creepy when like the action figures are walking around and they're talking and like. So I don't know if they could pull that off, but I'm assuming no, they're not going to because they would have done that already.
Yeah.
Because that's their biggest movie by I'm guessing by far.
They're making another
maybe
one,
Lion
by the
King
way.
bigger than that. Like
probably.
Toy Story's no, I don't even think
Toy Story's in top 5 without a doubt.
No, I would say top three for sure. But I'd be if I had to bet money, I'd say it's number 1.
Oh, Mary Poppins always live action. Never mind.
Yeah, Mary Poppins always.
They just remade it.
Yeah, they've remade it a bunch of different times. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know what.
But yeah, they're making another Toy Story, by the way, which I disagree with completely.
I would have to see what it's about. Like, if it's the new trans, they're somewhere else, or you know what I mean. Like, I thought Toy Story 4 was gonna be whack. I kind of liked it.
Oh my god, that was.
It was a good movie. Like, I thought when Toy Story 4 came out, I thought the same thing you were saying about a new one. I'm like, this is stupid. Why are they making another Toy Story?
It was a great ending last time, and it was a great ending for the fourth one.
And I thought Toy Story 4 was really good. Like, my daughter likes that one a lot, and I've watched it a bunch of times. I really think I like it better than 3. I think.
Both of those had great endings.
But 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all really good.
Yeah, they're all good in their own aspects.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to look. I think Toy Story is their number 1.
I'm trying to think of what else. What could they make live action? Trying to think of older stories.
All Dogs Go to Heaven. Is that Disney?
No, I think
you already said Lady. They already did Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp. Cinderella. Did they do Cinderella? Yeah, they did, didn't they? Didn't they do Cinderella?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like this though. Like there's a bunch of live action Cinderellas now. I think is there one like Hilary Duff? There's one with Brandy. They're doing another one with Brandy.
Yeah.
But it's her daughter or something.
Okay.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, they did a couple Cinderellas, but like way before now though. Like,
Okay.
Hilary Duff's got one, and then I'm pretty sure Brandy has a black Cinderella.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I want to talk about this here. We kind of skipped over
Frozen 2. Frozen 2. Frozen 1.
What about
Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, Toy Story. This is how much money.
Oh, yeah, Frozen. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But I'm guessing this is like box office. If they take like VHS sales, I would guess Toy Story's like number 1.
So I had Toy Story growing up. It's still one of my favorite Pixar Disney movies.
I think that is definitely one of the best animated movies.
Without a doubt.
Especially as like a first movie, because all the other ones are good too.
Yeah.
But I think that was just like an iconic animated movie that was like changed the scene.
What was I going to say? So they have Bambi here.
That seems weird.
Like, I don't, like, again.
It's going to be like Lion King, where it's like.
I don't think it's going to be really weird. What they got to do, if you're going to make it live action, at least have it majority humans. Because it's so weird watching all, like, these animals, like, talk and speak without it being a comedy. You know what I mean? Like, there's a movie coming out. You probably saw in the trailers where it was, like, this dog was bullied, but not Will Arnett. What's the other guy's name? The guy from The Last Man on Earth.
I know what you're talking about.
Him.
His name, yeah.
Will Forte.
Yeah.
He's in a movie, and Will Ferrell's like voicing a dog, and it's a bunch of these iconic comedians, comedic actors in general, are like voicing dogs and stuff like that. But it's like funny. It's not really weird. You don't feel off-putting. Like you can tell what it is. You're settled and comfortable in it. With all these like animated live-action animals, it just bothers me because it looks weird. It's off-putting. It takes you out of the movie. So I don't think they should do any more animals. Or majority animal-based movies. They should really kind of stick with whatever humans. Like I'm fine with like Snow White and stuff like that. Ooh, here we go. Do you think Snow White will actually be white, or do you think?
Yeah. I think she will be. I think the Little Mermaid will be the last person they really try.
Because there's been a lot of.
I just don't get like
controversy on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. It's
arguments on both sides.
I think people have valid points. I like personally as somebody, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go see the movie with my daughter. I'm not going to be like I'm a black person anyway, so I'm not going to be watching and being like, this is stupid. I don't like it, and I can't not be a hypocrite and be like, oh, it's okay when they do it with black people. Like I wouldn't like it if they redid a black movie and they redid freaking what's the movie Denzel was in, Training Day.
Training Day.
A white person, you know what I mean? Like
they put
we would not
Bruce
like
Willis in there.
Yeah, like we would not like that. Like so it has to be fair. Like it has to work both ways. Like I said, if they did, we talked about The Princess and the Frog. If they did that and made a white girl in that shit, you would not. They
would burn Disney.
Would not like.
They would burn Disney.
But
so
Disney
fast.
obviously wouldn't even think about doing that. And that's where I don't like in that sense. Like, you know, I don't want to be hypocritical, so just keep everybody who they are. These are already iconic stories that aren't racist in nature.
No.
I could see if it was a racist movie in nature.
Without a doubt.
Like, these are little kids movies that little kids don't care about. No. Like, they don't care who the colors of the characters
purple.
are.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Finding Nemo ain't got no people in it. And kids love it. It's like,
there was one kid
Toy
with
Story's
a brace
got
face.
toys. So there's no point. Like, I could get behind it if it was this racist thing and you were changing some of the things.
Right.
Like now they don't like Tom and Jerry have some like blackface things that people find disrespectful and they don't show them now.
Tom and Jerry's goated.
Yeah, and I love Tom and Jerry, but now there's like sometimes when they show them on Cartoon Network, they just cut that black lady out because she had big black lips.
Yeah.
She had like blackface. And back then it was fine, but now I guess it's deemed disrespectful. So they just cut those out. And I would be fine if they did something like that, but to change the whole like people's race, gender, sexual orientation, just to include some people who aren't even in your target demo seems silly to me.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking about what you were talking about regarding like they're cutting out certain things, they actually did that for SpongeBob too. And I remember this watching it as a kid. I found out like not too long ago, a few months ago. So there was an episode where it was Patrick, SpongeBob, and Mr. Krabs, and rightfully so. I understand why. Now, if you're a kid watching this, it's pretty inappropriate. But like they were doing panty raids, like they were like they broke into Mr. Krabs' mom's house, and Mr. Krabs didn't know it, and they were raiding his mom's panties drawer and like stealing it and stuff like that.
No, I don't remember that episode.
I remember it was iconic. But yeah, no, those situations make sense. I understand. Like I said, back then versus now is different
if you're trying
times.
to cut out things that were racist or
inappropriate,
not culturally appropriate nowadays.
By all
then
means.
fine. But to be like, oh, well, there's not enough black people in Snow White, so we're going to make Snow White.
It's weird because Disney was doing a good job of like being inclusive with their own stories. Like I said, two biggest ones I can name off the top of my head are Moana and Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch.
All Hawaiian.
Yeah. Like they've been
Coco.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's iconic.
I think that'd be one they might be able to remake.
That'd be good.
Kind of cool if they remade it. But yeah, like you said, they already did a good job.
With
Even
the-
before now
yeah.
too. Like some of these movies
Before
are
like the
older.
whole like, oh, we got to make sure everyone
Yeah,
like
so it's
Princess
like,
and the
I
Frog
don't-
is like what 2011, 2013,
yeah,
something
no
like that.
reason to be that way. It's like I said, do what they did in Princess Frog. Just make a cool new princess.
And they
story
do
with
it so well.
Yeah,
like
and kids will love it. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why you have to try and alienate people.
It just
for no
feels
reason.
lazy. It's just laziness because they don't want to make
And I don't
original
even know if
stories.
I think it's
I think it's
I think
partial
they want the
laziness.
controversy.
Mm.
As much, I think no, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
So they're like,
All
people are
press
going
is
to
good
come
press.
see our movie. If we make people hate it, they might even still
Yeah.
come see it because they want to see like why they hate it.
See,
Like,
I knew I was right.
yeah,
type
exactly.
shit,
So
yeah.
I think that's more a thing too, where they're like, oh, who cares if nobody likes your movie? And then we can hide behind the, well, if you don't like her movie, you're racist or
Yep.
homophobic
Yeah.
or sexist or whatever.
Whatever they want.
And I don't like being put in a spot like that where like I can't critique the things I didn't
Yeah.
like about the movie without being proclaimed
Being
some
deemed some
kinda
negative
hate
things.
speech.
Yeah.
Like I said, we use She-Hulk. Like, oh, you don't like She-Hulk because you don't like women. You didn't get it.
No, that was
Like,
an awful show.
no, I just thought it wasn't good objectively. There's other good shows with women leads
Yes.
about women that I enjoy. Like She-Hulk just had an agenda, and it's like was clear it had agenda, and then if you weren't with that agenda, you
Sexist.
sexist and you hated the show, and that's why. It's like you don't have any taste in
You
shows.
beat women.
It had nothing to do with how good the show was. You're just sexist.
Right.
And it's like I feel like they're painting themselves with some of these quarters of Little Mermaid. Now it's like if anybody's like, you know what, I just wasn't feeling the Little Mermaid. You're like, well, you know why? Because Ariel's black and you're racist.
Racist.
Like, that's
Sexist.
Why, like,
if it was a white man,
yeah,
you love it.
exactly. Yeah, this freaking white man trying to keep mermaids down. Like it's like, come on, like. Can we just watch movies and like them or not like? I don't like every movie's just political stand. It's cool every now and then you make a movie that's about some stuff
Yeah.
like that. Martin Luther King movie, a Malcolm X movie, you know what I mean? A KKK movie, you know what I mean? When it's about that. But why we gotta make every movie, even kids' movies, have some kind of sexism, LGBTQ, or racism underlining agenda?
Yeah.
Like, they don't make any movie nowadays that doesn't have something to do with that, and it's frustrating, especially when it's kids' movies because. For an adults, we're like, fine, I'm just not gonna go see that movie. But when your
Yeah.
kid wants to go see the movie, now everybody's gotta go.
You have to
see
see, yeah.
it. Yeah.
My final point before we head out here, because I don't want to go in two circles. We pretty much nailed everything here. Is entertainment-wise, these live-action movies have just been pretty bland. Like I said, it gets ruined or it gets tarnished. I think that's the best way to say it. It gets tarnished from their oversaturation of producing these, and also just their obvious agenda of inclusiveness for the sake of just being inclusive, just for a marketing tactic.
Yeah.
It gets boring, it gets tiring, it gets cliche, cheesy, and if it, like I said earlier, it feels belittling to whichever community you're shooting to. Like, hey, look at, we're doing it like what you guys do. We do it like
Yeah.
we have it in Disney right here. Like when you make it that obvious, it feels like you're treating them like children. Like I stated not too long ago, I was like. They've done it. Disney's done it fine for like a decade of just like saying, "Oh, this is it. All right, enjoy." Like
Yeah,
they just
like,
drop it and dip.
Hire
Like,
some black writers and say, hey, let's write some cartoons.
original black movie or
It's. I like what you said earlier. Where you're saying it's tarnishing it because I agree. It's like what was wrong with the original Little Mermaid? When
Yeah.
you change stuff, you're implying that something was wrong with
Right.
it initially. You could say whatever you want, but that's the implication.
Yeah.
Is like. Oh well, this Ariel was. It's like there's like we didn't like how she looked. We
Yeah.
wanted to change it. You know what I mean? Like or little black girls didn't like. It's like my daughter liked Little Mermaid. I don't. My daughter never
everyone
said
was Little
like,
Mermaid. It's classic.
exactly. My like
Every little
kids
girl loves
don't
Little
think
Mermaid.
of like
No.
that. Like they make it seem like that where they're like kids need to see themselves.
Yeah.
It's like these are freaking animated characters with
Yeah.
superpowers.
And that's a whole other conspiracy we won't even tap into. What Disney's doing with that's a whole Ben
yeah,
Shapiro.
yeah, but again, it's like you don't need to see yourself in any of these characters.
No.
It's like it's a fun story. Like kids like Trolls is about trolls. Like
Yeah.
kids love that. Or they like, oh
Do I
man,
see my
there's not any white trolls or
Yeah.
no black trolls. They're all pink. What's that about? Like
racism?
you know, when they make the live action Trolls movie, are they all gonna be white or black? Like
They better be all black.
yeah, like it's just silliness. Like so I think it does like tarnish some of these movies when you're like, what was wrong with it? Blah blah. It's like I said with Aladdin, nothing was wrong with Aladdin, but I think the good thing about that is they picked another iconic comedian and actor,
Yes.
Will Smith, who was just better at singing and dancing than
Yeah.
Robin Williams was. And Robin Williams was iconic, and he did do a great job. But I feel like Will Smith in an acting role like that, I think Will Smith's just funnier than Robin Williams like that. I mean, I'm much more of a Will Smith fan comedy wise than Robin Williams. I think he's great. I like Robin Williams in more of his serious roles than being goofy. But he just upgraded on it. Something like I said, I thought Beauty and the Beast was okay. Like I don't think it was necessarily better than the other one, but they just remade the cartoon.
What they did with Aladdin, what they did was with hiring such a high caliber actor, like Robin Williams of his time was equivalent to Will Smith of status, obviously. What they did, and he brought his own take, and I think that's what if they want to recast or something like that, you need to bring someone who's either of equal of caliber of whoever you brought prior. Obviously, it's animation, but voice acting comes as part of it. But also like who will bring their own spin to it. Yeah, obviously, with the unreleased stuff, we can't say much right now, but with the current stuff, we can.
And for Little Mermaid, the mermaid or Ariel can't have her own spin.
Yeah,
like, Flounder can. You know what I mean? Sebastian can.
Yeah.
But you can't really change her. Like that's changing the movie.
That's changing the story.
And to me, that's implication you're saying there was something wrong with the original story. And I don't think that's a good thing to do because, like I said, it kind of tarnishes it. And that's an iconic movie. And as like I said, of a minority person, I was never sitting around watching any of those movies thinking there ain't enough black people in these movies. Like they're not. They're freaking cartoons.
Where's Black Nemo at? You know?
Exactly. They're cartoons, and black kids loved them. I didn't sit around thinking no black kids be like, I don't like these movies. There were no black people in them. You know, it's like kids don't think like that.
They don't
I feel
care.
like you're making kids think like that. I don't like that's where people get frustrated when I consider myself a liberal person, but it's like I don't like y'all mess with kids. Kids should just do what they want. And you know what I mean? And let their parents tell them what to think for the time being. Like but trying to put little subtle messages in kids' movies to try and indoctrinate them before a certain age is like why? Like,
it's turning simple quality stories, simple, original, iconic, memorable stories that you grew up with, I grew up with, into like I said, and we both agreed, is like a tarnishing into like just some race or gender propaganda. I can't think of the right word, but you guys know what I'm getting at.
I don't know what the word is, but I just think like they're trying to trigger people in a good way, and like no publicity is bad or bad publicity.
All good.
All publicity is good publicity, and it's like I think that's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to create a controversy before the movie comes out, where people have to go see the movie. People feel guilty. Like I said, people didn't want to see it. They're like, oh, well, I don't want to go see it because my friends are going to think I don't like black people playing mermaids, and it's like. Who cares? Like, man, maybe you don't. That doesn't mean you're racist if you don't want to watch a movie where Ariel's a different person than she was. And like that's what they're trying to make people feel like. Oh, you're racist if you don't like the changes we made to an iconic movie that you watched 100 times since you were a kid. Like, I would say right now, if they change any of the core characters in Harry Potter to somebody who's black, I'm not watching it because
same thing with Batman.
I would feel like that's freaking pandering. It's one thing to, you know what I mean? Like, if they would have did it the first time to a character they didn't really give a color to. But, like, we had, like, sorry, y'all did a movie. Y'all gave colors to all these people.
Y'all gave over a decade worth of
content. Yeah, I mean, more than that. Like, shit, Harry Potter came out, I was in 4th grade.
I was talking about the movies.
Yeah, but I guess the movie. Yeah, it's like, so don't now be like, oh, well, we could just do whoever. Like, no, you guys gave these people colors and faces, and you stick to it. And it's like, you don't fucking bow to the I'm trying to think.
Media,
the crowd, the complainers, and that's what I like about J.K. Rowling, because she stood her ground, and in a time where everyone bends to the trans community, she did not, and I like that. I have respect for her because she did do this beautiful thing, and them to try and be like, well, cancel Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling doesn't think trans women are actual women. Like, what does that have to do with Harry Potter? Who cares?
It's so random.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? Like, oh, because she doesn't believe what you believe, you can't read her book anymore. Like, to me, you're the ignorant person that's there. Like, oh, you have to believe what I believe or I'm not supporting you. Like, she doesn't say she doesn't, you know what I mean? Oh, don't read my book if you're trans. It's for everybody. But she just doesn't believe that a trans woman can be a woman, whatever. But I was afraid that she wasn't going to have any involvement in, but I think she's going to have heavy involvement in it. So
because with HBO, they've made it a point. They I forgot who came out on HBO, but they said
JK every step of the way.
No, what was about Last of Us? So they said whenever we start doing these video or whatever, these readaptations of stuff like that, they're like, we're going to do the same recipe or same, I can't even think of it, but the same setup they did. Like, they brought in Neil Druckmann, and they're going to bring in the original creators as heavy
they
hands
said J.K.
in there.
Rowling's going to have a major hand in it.
But they're saying that for all of their, so whatever they're producing, the creator's always going to be there.
PC inclusion type of stuff. They may change like. I was reading. They said Hermione might be a different color, maybe because they say in the book she's just classified as curly hair.
Yeah,
like she's just got frizzy hair, and I guess black girls could have frizzy hair, mostly any frizz. But again, I just don't like it. Why we have this thing? Everyone loves it. Like no black people are sitting around thinking like, why isn't Hermione black?
Right.
Harry Potter could have been black. Like nobody's
Who
thinking.
cares?
I feel like they're creating problems
They
amongst the people, and I don't like that. I don't like. Nobody. I've been reading Harry Potter my whole life. Nobody and all these movies, and nobody's ever came up and been like, you know what? There's not no black people in these movies.
Same thing with Batman. Like I've never heard anyone complain about Batman. Even like the spinoff is called I Am Batman.
The only time people complain is when it's like a real life movie where black people should be in it, but they're not. Like nobody's complaining about made up fake stuff. Like nobody watches Snowfall and be like, "There's not enough white people in Snowfall." Like you know, and like yeah. Well, even though some people were doing that with Luke Cage. I remember when Luke Cage was out. They're like, "There's not enough white people in Luke Cage."
Yeah.
Like it's about a superhero.
Was it in the Bronx?
Yeah,
too?
in the ghetto of the Bronx.
It's like,
oh yeah, there's not enough white people there. Like oh,
No.
you wonder why? Like
oh, yeah, that's a good point to end off on, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Before you head out, just leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Comment what you guys think of what Disney's doing, if you agree, disagree with any of the points you've said, what we should discuss next episode. Other than that, I'm Tom, this is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. You guys take care.